Hey, y'all, welcome to the Why Podcast, where why is always the question. Some of us are more committed to the familiar than the future. That's a strong statement, isn't it? Let's talk about something that we think we've mastered. Loyalty. Loyalty to family, loyalty to our jobs, loyalty to who we think we've always been. But see, here's the catch. Sometimes loyalty is the very thing that is keeping us from moving forward. It's keeping us stuck. We stay in places, patterns, and partnerships long after they've expired. Not because they're good for us, but because they're familiar. See, we don't like to change something that we don't know what that change is going to look like. Familiar is what keeps us stuck. So for today's why do we stay loyal to the wrong things? Let's get into it. I got my 8 points, or my 8 reasons, as always. Excuse me, y'all. I don't know why I got something in my eye. As always, I'm going to go down my little bullet points that I have here so we can discuss it and see, do we have an understanding with one another or with ourselves and realizing, dang, that sounds a little bit like me. What am I and who am I loyal to? So my first point is we confuse loyalty with endurance. What? Oh, that was a word right there, whole bar. Because, and I say that, I remember being in a relationship when I was younger and always so loyal, but it's more so I was just enduring. Because half the stuff that I was going through, I did not need to be going through that. I was too young to be going through that. It made no sense. But I confused loyalty with endurance. See, we believe that toughing it out makes us virtuous, even when it's slowly draining the life out of us. We wear survival like a badge instead of asking, do I even belong here anymore? We have to ask ourselves that question. We have to check in consistently with ourselves because maybe it has expired. And maybe we do find ourselves enduring more than we really realize because we think that we're being loyal, but to a fault. Which brings me to a second point, is that familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar peace. And that's what I was just talking about. We already know the pain. We've made it a home, but peace? What is that? That requires change, risk, and letting go of what we've used to define ourselves. Some of y'all right now in relationships that you define yourself after that relationship, whether it's a marriage, a partnership, whatever that is. And because maybe others have said, I don't know if they're going to work out. You decided, I'm going to stay here because I'm going to prove you wrong. You're just enduring. You're staying loyal to the endurance of the relationship than the actual relationship. Maybe they were right. You don't have to worry about proving someone else wrong, but just proving yourself right as far as, is it necessary for you to stay there? Is it necessary for you to stay in something that is no longer serving you? And not in the vain way. I don't want us to get caught up in confusing this in a vain way. It's not serving me type attitude. I'm talking about where maybe it's best, you're best as friends. Maybe you're best as long distance partners, whatever that may look like. And it doesn't necessarily mean you need to move on to someone or something else. It's okay to also be loyal to ourselves. And that looks like continuing to build. On this journey of life, God has something for us in store. Every single one of us, man and woman. And sometimes we can get caught up in trying to please and be and have endurance for someone else or something else that we're missing the mark and missing the point for ourselves. And we can't even be used in that manner. Not really. My third point is we fear being judged for walking away. That comes back to wanting to stay in something that long expired only because others doubted the relationship from the beginning. It is okay that it didn't work. Leaving can look like quitting, but staying too long, that can cost you your peace, your purpose, and your potential. And we all have it. We all have purpose. We all have potential. But we for dang sure can't get there without at least some peace. Realize that within yourself. Understand that you have a contract and a covenant with the Father first. And what it is that He wants of you, He will make sure it gets done. But are you blocking His blessings? And you're not even realizing it because you're so focused on this loyal thing that you don't even realize you're not even loyal to Him. My fourth point is that we over-identify with struggle. Oh, I'm so over the struggle. I'm so over it. If you've been struggling for so long, thriving can feel foreign. You might sabotage anything that looks like ease because you don't believe it's for you. And it don't have to just be you. It could be someone that you're around, someone that you're with. It can be a partner, a friend, a parent, a sibling, a cousin, whomever. Because you're so used to being in struggle. Don't get comfortable there. And it happens to all of us. I don't even want to give myself an opportunity or a reason to say it's okay to be in the struggle. It's not. I'm over it. But it shouldn't take something so volatile or something so moving to say, get out of the way and keep going at the same time. Number 5 is that we're addicted to proving people wrong. That goes back to what I was just saying in point 2. You stay in a dead-end job, friendship, or relationship just to say, see, I made it work. But what if you don't need to prove anything to anybody? I think a lot of us, I'm including me in it too, get into a point where you feel like you have to prove something to someone else just because they didn't approve of what your choice was. And sometimes they just were right, and sometimes they were wrong, dead wrong for whatever reasons. But most times, what I've seen from experience and from the outside looking in and from being on the inside, they were right. I'll never forget. I was dating this guy some years ago, before I got married. So I was definitely in my early 20s. And my mama called him out. She said, what the heck, that Negro, blah, blah, blah. Now, this man, when I met him, and you know, and don't play me, black don't crack. We age very well. you know we do. I can tell you what age, and you just gonna believe me. You're gonna be like, I can see that. It's not gonna be like, if I said right now, I'm 65, y'all be like, okay, maybe. If I said right now, I'm 32, you still be like, okay, yeah, I can see. That's how we age. And I'll never forget, I met this guy. He told me he was 27. I know. I remember him saying his age. I said, how old are you? I was 19 at the time. So I wasn't even in my 20s yet. So I was 19 at the time. He said he was 27. Okay. I can see that. Right? My mom met him briefly. Now, my mom had me when she was 27 years old. And I know this is so extra. I'm sitting up here like, let me do the math. Let's do the math. Right? My mom had me, why can't I find, when she was 27 years old or years young, right? And so, when I was 19 years old, that means she was 46. And that's, wow, you know what's so funny? Because now I see how she was able to call that. Anyway, so when she met him, she was like, that Negro ain't no 20. She said, how old is he, Celeste? I said, he's 27. That Negro ain't no 27. That nigga 45. He my age. I kind of look like, huh? And then my mom again. My mom ages really good. When my mom was 45, 46 years old, my mom could have easily been like 30. You could have thought she was 39 or 38. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even down to 32. Like, seriously. So when she said it, I was like, no, he's not. He said he was 27. And she says, listen, I would know my peers. I would know when someone's my age. And long story short, she went on and said, I don't need to date this guy, whatever. I didn't want to list it because I wanted to be loyal to the struggle. I wanted to be addicted to proving her wrong. Child, she was right. He wasn't worth nothing. And then when I confronted him, I was like, can I see? I don't forget what we were. And I was like, let me see your ID. I think we were getting drinks somewhere or something. He was getting drinks. I was there. And I just kind of glanced at his ID and I was like, you are 40. He was like, I told you that. I said, no, the hell you did not. Tell me you was born in 1956 when my mom was born. Listen, tried to really woo-bop me. It was so silly. But nonetheless, the point of me telling this whole long, drawn-out story is that I wanted to prove her wrong by, no, he's not, and he's a really great guy, and we're going to last from 19. And then we didn't, and she was right. And at the same, and I was okay with letting that go. But sometimes we can get in deeper relationships and get so caught up in them and still be addicted to wanting to prove others wrong. So we have to make sure that we're not doing that. Friendships, marriages, all of it. It's all on the table. Because you have to really realize and understand when it is time to walk away. Which brings me to another point is that we confuse obligation with purpose. Ooh, just because you can carry it doesn't mean it's your assignment, boo. And sometimes we stay because we think it's our job to fix it. I don't know about you. I'm not Mrs. Fix It. I'm not. I work on myself a lot. I've been working on myself a lot since forever. But I really, really intentionally took a lot of time and deep diving into myself when I was 15. So for 20-something years, you can guess my age somewhere around there. Hold on, she can't be 32. But I've been working on me. I'm working on me. Whatever my issues are with me, I work on them. I can't do that for someone else. It's just impossible. I'm still working on me. And as you get older, you recognize or you learn new things about yourself because we change. We start learning new things about what we like or who we are and so on and so forth. Like for me, I've always had a young, upbeat spirit. My aura is very yellow, very sunshine, very much like that. Very rarely am I very dark, black, meek or whatever. Very, very, very rarely. I'm not that. I've always been, maybe, hey, Celeste, very heavenly. I've always been her. And I've always found myself in situations where I've tried to help fix others. I can't fix anybody. They need to want to fix themselves. I can only fix myself. And as I've gotten older and wiser, I've understood that. So you got to check yourself and make sure that you aren't doing that as well. Even if it's a friend. You can't fix her. If that's how she is, that's how she is. You can let her know, being honest, being a true friend, and letting her know, what it is, whatever problems or issues you may or may not have. But it's up to her or him to want to go ahead and fix that. My seventh role is the role become our identity. The role becomes our identity. You've been the caretaker, the fighter, the loyal one for so long that you don't know who you are without that story. But you're allowed to rewrite it. And that's what I'm saying with that fix it mentality. You may feel as though I gotta fix everything. Everybody always asks me for the advice. I'm the fix it queen. I don't know who said that. I'm not stepping into that. It's not my ministry. My ministry is right where I am, doing what I'm doing, having a conversation with my peers, those who are like-minded, that we can have a great conversation in the comments down below. Go ahead and click the subscribe if you haven't. Hit that like button and go ahead and comment down below and let's continue the conversation. That's what I'm talking to, right? I don't want to create an identity that I no longer, or it no longer serves me. And I remember even, of course, doing the work on myself, figuring that out for me. Really figuring out who Celeste is and who Celeste is becoming. And baby, it is not Mrs. Fix-It Queen. Baby, it is not to be in the struggle. And baby, it is not to create an identity that doesn't serve me. All the above. No. And that's not in a selfish manner. It's just that it's draining. It takes the focus off of what my purpose is in life. And I have so many things I know that the Father needs to use me for, which is why I'm here right now. He told me to do this. Okay? So I'm coming up with my last point is that we mistake time invested for value returned. Did y'all hear me in the back? We mistake time invested for value returned. Ooh, what does that mean? Sometimes you can be in a relationship for over 10 or 20 years, and then you're thinking that, I invested so much time that you can still squeeze and find some value in it, but you should let that go year one. But I've been here 10 years. Okay. And you've been here 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. It is never too late to wake up, smell the roses, and walk away. If it isn't serving you, if it's not right. Again, we can't be loyal to the wrong things. It doesn't mean that you owe it 10 more years. Loyalty shouldn't be a life sentence. It shouldn't. And that sounds so dark. And I'm not talking about those out there that y'all have healthy relationships and you have some disagreements and y'all can get through those little things, right? It's the consistent pattern of the same thing over time compounding itself that you really got to pay attention to. Like, we can't keep turning a blind eye to that's just how you really are, bro. All right, that's just what it is for real. I mean, that's just how I see it. It doesn't mean that they won't change someday. Maybe the two of you together is what's blocking the change. Maybe you're enabling to a fault because you think you're being loyal, but you're just enduring. And then they're reaping the benefit of that and thinking they don't have to change, so they're being loyal to staying in the struggle. I'm just saying. That was a mouthful. But it's something for us to pay attention to. So, in closing, sometimes what we call loyalty is really fear wearing a disguise. It's comfort in chains. It's survival masked as devotion. But loyalty, real loyalty, should feed your future, not starve it. Oh, because baby, we need to be eating. We need to be eating, right? Not starving, eating. So if it's not growing you, freeing you, or aligning with who you're becoming, it might be time to let it go. Because honoring yourself isn't disloyalty, it's clarity. Understand that. We need to clarify things. So, I'm going to leave y'all with this. As always, question everything. Everything. Question everything. Starting with why. Because why is always the question. And I'm out, y'all.